What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well today. We are back on some MX Simulator again, and I just wanted to kind of show off this track a little bit and show, well, just go show that anybody can make a track when it comes to MX Simulator. This is a track that I made way back when. I want to say maybe like 2016-ish. I mean, I could be completely wrong on that, but I know it was quite early days. Now, the concept behind this track, it's called The Basics. And it was essentially to kind of help Charlie train on MX Sim when he first started playing the game. Now, this was the first track that I ever made. Funny enough, I think Spencer Turley actually done a video covering this track way back in the day. Interesting how things kind of come full circle, isn't it? But the whole premise of this was to be a nice straightforward track with a couple of ruts, a couple of easy jumps, and some like a small bit of chop going into the corners, just for Charlie to learn the game and just see how he progresses. Now, you'll look around and you'll be like, well, it's literally just a height map, there's no terrain or anything like that. Me being me, and not being the most, like, tech savvy of people, I guess you could say. Now, I remember I referenced a lot of other tracks back when I made this, so there'd be models from other tracks. I mean, you get like flaggers and things like that, and for whatever reason, I could not for the life of me work out how to get it working online properly. So if two people downloaded the same link, some would be able to play it online, some wouldn't. It would error saying kind of track doesn't match and such. So basically, to fix it, what I done back then is I just got rid of all the models. So you end up with just a flat track, and there's one truck there, which I believe comes with the kind of like base track thingy that you use like when you make the game. This was all done in the track editor as well, so no Photoshop or anything like that. Again, just basically due to the fact of not being very tech savvy. I didn't know what I was doing back in the day. But as you can see, very easy, straightforward track. I'll put the link to it in the description because I mentioned this a while ago. And people were commenting saying they wanted to kind of try them out themselves. I believe I've done a video on my other track, which is called Lynn's Fun Track. So just feel free to have a scroll through the channel. There should be a very early video on the channel, regardless of. It was like a sight lap video that I made back when I first made that track. I'd never done anything like that for this one. But kind of looking back on it, I don't think it's that bad by any means. Obviously, it lacks a little bit of flow here and there, like that left-hander that I just went round it. It would have been nice if it kind of flows a little bit more rather than being kind of like two separate 90-degree corners. But I think for a very first track, I don't think it's terrible by any means. I'm pretty sure I banged it out in the space of a day. If I remember, I think I just spent one entire Saturday doing it. I'm one of them people where I really struggle to kind of organise my time properly. If I get into something, I'll just kind of go all out, just go balls to the wall and do it until it's completed. And that was the case on the two tracks that I've made. I'll have like an idea in mind. I'll probably restart it 2-3 times until I get somewhat of a layout or a beginning that I'm happy with, and then I'll just keep going. Like, even if I end up going 24 hours straight without stopping, I would just go until I thought the track was suitable to release. Now, granted, that's not the best way of doing things by any means. You're probably better off spending maybe an hour or so a day kind of getting the best quality work possible out of it. And I'd be very interested to see nowadays what I could come up with, which might even be a topic for a video in the future. I know that a while back Kellen done the whole kind of track making video series, whatever you want to call it, tutorials, where kind of walked people through what he was doing and how to kind of make a track from A to Z. The person that I learnt from way back when is someone by the name of Wallant, or Stalkin MXS. He goes by a couple of names, but again, one of them people that very underrated and has probably done way more for the community than is noticed. One of the very first people I ever saw making like good followable track making guides on this game, and it's all done. Let's say it's all done within the track editor. None of it was Photoshop or anything like that. So you see everything that you see in front of you here was all done with either the gradients, if anyone's ever seen the track editor, that is, done with gradients, or done by manually raising and lowering different parts of ground. And a lot of it's trial and error, but it's very rewarding when you kind of get a section just as you'd like. I look back on it and I see bits like this, and I have no idea why this inside right is so tall compared to the outside. I mean, how the track kind of flows from inside to inside there, that outside's never going to get used by anybody unless they just like royally mess up a section. You can, like, this got berms that are probably a little bit little bit bigger than you'd like, a little bit forgiving, but that was by design back then. I wanted to take it a bit easy on young Charlie. Speaking of which, I need to get him in on another video. People have been asking for him. He's just been a busy man, you know. I mean, we're both adults. We both work our normal day jobs. Well, obviously, we message each other on like WhatsApp and such every now and then, but to try and actually find some time to sit down and kind of put out a video together, it's difficult. You know, life gets in the way sometimes, but we'll get back to it at some point. He was still toying with the idea of making his own channel. I believe he did actually have a video made, but he just never went about posting it or making it live because he wanted to kind of start it himself and see if he could do something consistently for a while, and then I would kind of almost like shout out and mention it. You just want to see if he could kind of get any traction himself beforehand without almost getting like a free pass and having it mentioned to a couple of thousand people. And that's something that I think it's actually a really good mentality to have. Actually, I'm going to get a little bit off topic here, but I get people in my comments every now and then saying, like, can you shout my channel out, or can you collab with me? I've done like 2 videos, so on and so forth. And I'm a big advocate of kind of finding your own success, like come up with your own concepts, see them through to fruition. Kind of work hard by yourself. I mean, whilst I feel like in some ways I got a little bit lucky, as when I started making videos is just when bikes really started becoming a little bit more popular, a little bit more mainstream, and more people were hearing about it. So I think my channel was at the forefront of most MX Bikes content. A little bit different nowadays. I mean, there's a whole bunch of new people kind of hopped in the scene, doing very well for themselves. But again, big advocate of kind of just putting in the work and seeing if you can find success on your own before reaching out to others. I feel like I spent a good year or so experimenting with what does and doesn't work, just video concepts as a whole, constantly trying to come up with new ideas I think might be exciting. Very hard to do in games like these where you do have limited content. You know, at the end of the day, you are just kind of riding around a track or hitting jumps over and over again, just with a slightly different spin on it each and every time. But at the same time, that's why I'm very thankful to be able to do what I do. I mean, if I wasn't doing videos, if I wasn't doing the whole YouTube side of things, I'd still be playing the games probably just as much, if not even more, than I do now. I just wouldn't be able to call it my second job, if that makes sense. So yeah, again, another little thank you to everybody that sticks by me. And I also always get every now and then people saying that they've been here since 1,000 subs or a couple hundred, and like very early days, and it's impressive and good to see that people still enjoy watching them after so long. I know myself, I kind of work my way through different YouTubers that I watch personally. Every couple of months, it's like I'll binge watch someone, I might stumble across a series that I've never seen before that I really enjoy, and then I'll binge watch maybe 20-30 episodes of that same series in a couple of days, and then never watch it again. I think that's part of my somewhat addictive personality, which is I mean, don't take this in a negative way by any means, which is kind of why I'm surprised that I'm still going on this. I thought it would honestly be something that I'd done for a couple of weeks, got bored of it, maybe didn't see the progress or success or growth I was after, and then just moved on, you know, and never touched it again. But very surprised, and every day when I get finished with work, I'm like, right, let's make a video now. What ideas do I have? What can I make entertaining? And it's nice. It is very much enjoyable, which is why I'm a little bit gutted actually that over the next couple of days you're probably going to have a little break in a video here or there. I did mention it in yesterday's video. Sole reason being I'm just busy. You know, I did want to go into this year with the idea of doing a video every day, but I don't think it's that realistic. I know that some people that do YouTube as their normal day job struggle to do that as well. So definitely set tough expectations of myself, but at the same time I feel like that's probably what's got me as far as I have, so wouldn't be here without that kind of work ethic, if that makes sense in a way. But I think you can agree, having a look at this track, whilst it's nothing special, I still think it was important that I showed you guys. Maybe some of you guys are looking at getting into track racing in the first place, maybe more on the MX Bike side than Sim. I know a whole bunch of you that watch these videos are more MX Bikes fans than MX Simulator, just with how the community and the channel grew in the first place. But I think sim track making is so much easier than bikes. And to my knowledge, I'm not sure on the exact process. I'm sure you can find help in various Discords, or maybe there's even a YouTube video out there, I'm not too sure. I feel like you can use the MX Simulator track editor that kind of comes with the game to make your track and then import it over to bikes. I know bikes doesn't have anything like that. Do I have the track editor enabled on here? I do. Okay, so yeah, this is what it looks like if you weren't too sure. You kind of zoom in and out. See, very basic layout and such, and you can be as weird and wacky as you like. I'm not going to do too much here, but up at the top left, I know it's covered by the FPS and such, but you've got like your raise tool and your lower tool, so you can manually go in and create hills and ruts and such. We've got gradients here. So gradients, you can either make a gradient for a jump, which if I show you here, if I maybe zoom in a bit, you can see this is me marking out how I want the jump to be, and then you literally kind of paint that on the track. Alternatively, with the corners, you've got like a radius gradient, which is here. And I need to zoom in a lot more on this one. And you can see I've got kind of the shape of a rut as you come up to it, but you paint it in a circle, so it kind of follows around the track, and that's how you get it. I mean, you can spend hours and hours and hours building the same rut over and over until you're really, really happy with it. There's a lot of manual stuff that goes into it. Sometimes you'll nail it first time and it's absolutely fine. Sometimes not so much. You see all these little like choppy bits here going into the corner where the shading is. This was all done by hand. You know, I've got like the raise tool, manually went in and created it all. I don't want to touch anything because I don't want to risk kind of modifying the height map and accidentally saving it. But just, yeah, if any of you guys had no idea about the track creating process in this game, there's that. Completely forgot, as you can see at the top right, there is no map. That make a map sign is what comes with the base template for tracks in MX Simulator. In hindsight, I have no idea why I didn't make a track. It would have been like literally a 5-minute job. I could have just gone in the track editor, taken a screenshot, placed it up there at the top right, and you're done. You know, job's over. But yeah, I digress. I won't lie. Kind of going back and playing this, having a look at the track editor, it does make me want to get a little bit creative again and see what I can do. Who knows? That may soon come. We'll see what my schedule looks like. But yeah, I just want to show you guys this track. I'll link it down in the description so you can play it as well. I think if you are like intermediate or above level, don't even bother. The track is just far too easy. If you are very, very new to the game, 100% give it a go. It'll teach you all those little things that you need. Teach you how to hit some of these smaller choppy bumps into corners, just how to follow a rut a little bit easier, and then there's some very easy jumps on here as well if you want to practice trying to get the back end of that out a little bit, or some little scrubs. And that'll do it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please do drop a like. It's very, very much appreciated, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever it is you're up to. Until I catch you in the next video, peace.
I'm working hard, I'm sacrificing my life, I'm sacrificing my mind, I'm sacrificing my sanity, but most importantly, I'm sacrificing my time. Boy, I feel fine, I feel like I am a king. Honestly, I can't complain, even with faith that's the size of a grain of some salt, I will still move a mountain and do what I want. I got salt to be with my